Parcel might just be the next investment that you should be adding to your portfolio. In today's video, we're going to break down what is Parcel and why you should be adding it to your portfolio or getting involved on the Parcel platform and providing liquidity or using the trading software that they have. So what is Parcel? It is a real world asset in RWA that enables you to long and short markets, essentially. You can also provide liquidity, which is a much more conservative and safe investment, but there's also upsides to doing that. So essentially, a lot of you have probably heard of Parcel, especially if there's any airdrop farmers watching. Parcel was a very hot site that people were farming early in the year and had a pretty decent airdrop in my opinion, depending on how you farmed it and how well you did. But I believe it was a reasonable airdrop. It wasn't awesome. I think a lot of people were expecting huge airdrops, but it was a reasonable airdrop, and they still have airdrops going on. And I think right now might be a good opportunity to actually enter into these ongoing airdrops. So we're going to dive into why I think that actually is a good case and how a lot of the hype that has died down from Parcel actually creates this opportunity for people to get in and take advantage of people that have left. So essentially, what is Parcel? It is a rental market. So this is one of the ways that you can accrue these points, which is one way that you can farm the platform or use the platform. So you can long a market, you can short a market. It's a real estate market. So here we have Brooklyn, Miami, Austin. There's quite a few, and they're adding them consistently. So if you think one of the markets is going to increase in price, you can long it. And if you do well, you make money. If you don't, you obviously lose money. It's longing and shorting. But what happens while you do this is you do accrue points, which is pretty important. So like you go to the points platform, basically we're in perpetual point season 2. So there was the initial points, then there was season 1, and then there was season 2. I've been involved in both seasons that have gone, and they were pretty rewarding, I must say. Depending again on how willing you are to farm this site or just use the site, depending on how you want to sort of gain these points. But one of the great parts of this platform is you can provide liquidity, which is a very conservative way of actually accruing points, and it's a safe investment. If you don't want to have all your money in a crypto coin at this time of the cycle, which is a very reasonable thing, you might want to have some money on the sidelines. One way you can do that is keep it in USDC, provide liquidity here, and you'll earn APR, 30-day returns 0.38%, which isn't that great, but when you take into consideration the realized profit and losses, this does go up a little bit more. Again, some of you might be thinking this isn't good enough, and I understand that. It's about assessing whether the risk reward ratio is there for you. So when you factor in holding USDC, which means you can then use that money later to invest, you're getting 2.45% once the unrealized profit and loss here has been realized. You'll get those returns, but you're also accruing points, which will later convert into the Parcel token, which we're going to get to in a second. That's one of the most important parts of this whole video, right? The actual Parcel coin, which if anyone is following it has seen that it's actually been doing relatively well the past couple of weeks. So this is one of the ways that I personally would use this platform, is providing liquidity and getting points that way. And then if you'd like to long and short markets, absolutely get involved with this. The great part about that is there are contests that are ongoing, and people that do well in these contests can win rewards like Parcel token, like points, and also homeowners association, the NFT that's associated with the site. And then there's also like loser contests that's sometimes ongoing. So here you have the September biggest loser contest. So if you don't actually make much money and you lose, you might still get rewarded with points. So you sort of get reimbursed for those losses, which is not bad. Lastly, Parcel is integrated staking, which is very good. Obviously, this is basically integral to the whole platform, and then you're able to stake your Parcel. And what this does, this is very important as well. When you stake Parcel, this can increase the amount of points that you gain up to 250%. So basically, if you have 2.5 times the amount of money that you're providing liquidity, then you'll get that percentage boost at 250%. So effectively, the more that you stake up until that point of 250%, the more points you'll be getting per day. And then one of the other ways of getting more points is through the NFTs, the homeowner association, that I've spoken about. So here is the NFT that's linked to Parcel, right? It is these nice little houses. They look pretty cool. I do own a few myself. I think they're pretty cool looking, and They have some utility. There is holder staking coming soon, which will be pretty important. And then you also get an allocation for holding these NFTs in the end of each season. We're currently waiting on the perpetual point season 1 allocation. So depending on how that goes, will sort of indicate whether this is a good investment, because if the allocation is high, then it suggests that these NFTs are probably a good investment to get into. And then if the allocation isn't as high, then maybe it's not. But we have a look here. They're 1.84 Sol, which isn't too cheap, obviously. They were up at their highest around 8-10. They did go quite high, and they came all the way down. About here is where I can find the lowest. This is where the this was a little bit of a flash crash that occurred when Bitcoin was incredibly volatile. Basically, Bitcoin was dumping. I'm not sure what price Bitcoin got to, probably like low 50s, around that range. I remember watching the site, and these NFTs were just selling instantly. And I picked like one or two up around 0.77 Sol, which I was pretty thankful for now. So we can see that these have pumped quite a bit since then. They've gone up to 1.84 last couple of days. Have been doing really well, 27% in the 24 hour. And when you pair this to the coin, so here we have the token. And when we look at Parcl, we can see Parcl was, when it first launched, obviously the price is really volatile when it first launches, around 60 cents. And then sort of just slowly bled and reduced its price. But obviously Bitcoin has been performing not that well. The whole market hadn't been performing very well throughout this time. So it wasn't the greatest time for the coin to launch. And so these are pretty expected moves that we saw from Parcl. It just followed the trends of most other altcoins, even Bitcoin even. And then if you look at the past month, we can say, okay, we're finally hit the bottom, most likely. Really bottomed out around this sort of 14-cent range. And now we're up. We hit 30 cents, just under 30 cents earlier today or yesterday. And we're now, much higher. So this is the thing you have to think about. When you see Parcl finally pumping, and you see the NFTs also pumping quite a lot, it's obviously incredibly bullish for the whole market. Not the whole market, sorry, but for the whole Parcl ecosystem. And real world assets is a very strong sector that's been growing in the last year, and it is a critical component of the cycle, in my opinion. I think meme coins have performed very well, as well as real world assets. They're, in my opinion, two of the hottest sort of topics at the moment, and looking at these sort of sectors are quite important. So you're gonna have to decide like which meme coins are quite risky, of course, because a lot of them don't have actual good utility. But real world assets obviously have really good utility. So you need to think about what coins do you want to invest in? What do you want to look at? And in my personal opinion, and I'm not affiliated with Parcl at all, but I think the great thing about investing in Parcl is that obviously the coin's doing well, the NFTs are doing well, the platform is a very strong platform with a lot of utility, but most importantly, you're also accruing these points at the same time. So we're in perpetual point season 2, which will then lead to the Parcl coins getting unlocked at the end. So you get the reward depending on how much they allocate to season 2. That's all up in the air. That's part of the gamble. Like, you don't really know how much they're gonna allocate to the next season. They've been, I'm not gonna say generous, but they've been quite realistic with what they've allocated to past seasons, and the allocations have given to the NFTs as well. So the fact that you're able to invest in this coin, NFT, and also accrue points on the side, and also, more importantly, I believe, is also doing something with your USDC. So if you, as I said, if you don't want to actually put your money into a coin and have it locked up and then watch the value reduce because the coin dumps or whatever, and the market is incredibly volatile, you can just sit there stress-free. As I said, the returns aren't great. They were negative the other day, like very slightly negative, which wasn't great, but that's all because of the unrealized profit and loss right here. As I said, once you turn that on, and that gets realized, it's at 2.45%. So USDC is actually doing something, also accruing points. And when you factor in staking your Parcl to get a boost on your points and the NFTs, it really just can magnitude the amount of points you're going to get. And you're also invested in the coin and the NFT. So for me, it's a really good upcoming project. As I said, real world assets, a very big sector of this crypto cycle. We saw it perform really well early, and so it's one would assume that if we performed well early in the cycle, then after this big sideways movement that we've seen, we might see Parcl move well in the future. So let me know what you think of Parcl. I personally don't see many videos of people talking about it much at all. It is a very low cap coin, which does indicate that it has that capacity to actually 10x, 20x, which there's no telling if it will. Like, you can't predict those sorts of things, but it does have the capacity. Whereas, obviously Bitcoin does not really have that capacity to do a 10 or 20x. It's just too high of a market cap. So let me know what you think of Parcl. Let me know what you think of like real world assets, also the NFTs that are associated with this, and yeah, what kind of coins you're bullish on, what low cap coins and real world assets you're bullish on, and whether you think Parcl is actually one that people should invest in. I know a lot of people moved away from Parcl after the first airdrop because many people were disappointed or just were farming it just for the points and then therefore for the token. But there's definitely a use case for a lot of utility, so I'm pretty bullish on it. I'm pretty happy with it. I think they're launching some new merch soon. We're pretty sick. I definitely want to grab some of their merch. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Do appreciate it. I'll see you later.